You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Essentia. A better you starts with better hydration. Essentia is on a mission to inspire people to do what matters most. Their proprietary ionization process transforms water from any source into ionized alkaline water, providing water that's 99.9% pure with a pH of 9.5 or higher. Essentia Overachieving H2O, the #1 ionized alkaline water. Shop now.
Welcome to From Beneath the Hollywood Sign. If you love old movies, Hollywood history, or the golden age of filmmaking, you've come to the right place. This is the podcast that talks about amazing stories of Tinseltown from another era and fascinating conversations with writer-producer Steve Cubine and actress-writer Nan McNamara.
So, Steve, did Ava Gardner and Howard Hughes have a good relationship?
Well, they did until he dislocated her jaw.
What?
Well, don't worry. She hit him back with an ashtray.
From Beneath the Hollywood Sign is the gin joint for you.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality. The cream of the crop!
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neal, and I am once again in an empty studio, but I am joined over Skype with our friends Jeff and Matt. Let's start with Jeff. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you, Neal?
I'm doing all right, all things considered. And Matt, how is everything out in LA over there?
Well, I wouldn't know. I haven't left my house in 7 days.
Well, that makes sense. Have you been building puzzles or doing any sort of macaroni art?
No, I need that macaroni to live.
All right, well,
I haven't been to the grocery store in 7 days either.
All right, we'll Amazon Prime you some macaroni, and if possible, could you do a Macho Man macaroni figurine?
Yeah, sounds absolutely savage.
Well, thank you. Before we get to our special guests, we just wanted to say a very special thank you. Two of our guests here today are Patreon supporters, which we cannot thank them enough for. But I was talking to Jeff the other day, and since our patrons are the lifeblood of our show, during this difficult time, we're recording this end of March. We usually don't timestamp episodes, but I'm sure you're well aware of what's going on. And we just want to thank all the patrons. We know some patrons had to drop off due to monetary issues, which is totally understandable, and we appreciate all the time that they've been with us up until this point. And then we've had a huge influx of Patreon support, which is sort of flabbergasted us, and it's really, really nice. We really appreciate all the support you're giving us. If you're just starting to donate, or if you've just joined Patreon. Full disclosure, two of us are no longer working at the moment, so every dollar that you donate is really helping keep the show go. And we're doing our best to continually put out content, and just means a lot. We really, really appreciate it. Wanted to take a moment to say thank you for that, and kind of get the low downer point out in the beginning of the show, because I'm sure there's going to be plenty of hijinks today. So thank you once again. But to introduce our special guest today, as I said, they're both Patreon supporters. Our contestant, who's going to be playing with Matt today, is one of our listeners that we love interacting with on the crop and through email. And she's an Intercontinental Champion from Round Rock, Texas. And that's Emily Veraa. How's it going, Emily?
It's going great. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? We heard a little bit beforehand, but what you do is very interesting, and we'd love to hear more.
Well, I'm a high school teacher, and specifically the subject I teach is agriculture science. So if you've ever heard of the FFA, the Future Farmers of America, I am a teacher in that, an advisor with that. I've got 3 kids of my own. I've got a set of twins that are just about to learn how to drive, so we're trying to navigate those waters. And then I've got a middle schooler, so we're all getting pretty tight and cozy these days.
That sounds like it. And just to be clear, the twins will not be driving at the same time.
No, we have not figured out how to do that. They do a lot of things at the same time, but not that.
All right. So if anyone has one of those old school driver's ed cars with 2 wheels, just send it over to Emily.
We'd like one that has the 2 sets of brakes, so I could hit the brakes in the passenger side.
Even more important, yes. Well, our special guest host today is someone we've had on the show. The last memory I have of him, other than seeing him at Geek Bowl, of course, is him bringing almost, I think, a 30-pound box of wrestling magazines, vintage wrestling magazines, which are awesome, and I'm going to try and turn them into some sort of coffee table. But great person. We love having him on, and he's a Cruiserweight champion on Patreon from Brick, New Jersey, and that's Paul McLaughlin. How's it going, Paul?
Good afternoon, guys. I'm doing okay. It's interesting times here, but yeah, we're getting through it.
Well, yes, it is interesting times. You're correct. And we see you have the Extravaganza T-shirt on from our event, which we love seeing you at. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you've been on a few times, but anything else you'd like to drop?
Yeah. Been on what's my record? 1-1 now. So I'm gonna have to try and am I looking to beat you guys today? I really don't know how that works, but we're just doing what we do here at the shore, which is not a whole lot right now. Just taking care of the family. Both my wife and youngest daughter are laid up with this, so I'm just spending my 7th anniversary today, social distancing from them. So,
well, happy anniversary. Well, we know it's sort of a different circumstance here, the way we're recording, but we're going to do our best. So please excuse any sound issues, but we think we got it pretty good here. So I think Matt is going to partner with Emily. Any ideas on a team name?
Yeah, so Emily was from Round Rock. I'm a big basketball guy, so I think we're going to be Round Bowl Rock by John Tesh.
Round Bowl Rock by John Tesh. He is one of your favorite artists.
For that one song, correct.
Yeah, well, and the NBC theme song, right?
That's what it's called.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh, I
think I've asked it on the show like 4 times.
Oh,
Neal.
I didn't know. I didn't know it had a name.
Oh yeah, there's a great SNL skit about them creating that song and his brother having lyrics to it. It's pretty.
Jeff, any ideas on a team name for us?
Yeah, so we were talking earlier. Unfortunately, we don't live in a town like Paul or Emily that have kind of like a stone feel, but Paul's from Brick, so we thought we would be drowning slowly.
All right, so we'll be drowning slowly against what is it, Matt? What's the team name?
Oh, it doesn't matter. You'll never say it again.
I'll probably forget it. You're correct. Well, let's throw it to the rules guy. He is also on a rock. He's sitting on the Blarney Stone in Ireland. Let's see how he sounds.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Pretty windy, but pretty clear.
I don't think that's how you're supposed to Blarney Stone, but...
I don't think so. But Paul, you are the host with the most. Feel free to take it away, and let's start the game.
All right, very good. Thanks a lot, guys. All right, so round 1, question 1. We are starting out with a tricky question. The opening lines of Run DMC's It's Tricky form what type of poetic verse? For clarification, we're talking about everything before the words, here we go.
For some reason, all I can come up with is like Shakespearean sonnet things, and that's not what we're going with.
No, so like the rhyming scheme is like AABB, but within the line. But I don't know if there's a name for that or if that's a different kind of.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't paid attention to this in quite a bit.
Yeah, like a limerick.
Sure, that works. I'm all for the funny answers when we can't come up with the real ones.
Well, we'll see. So we'll say limerick based on your Blarney Stone talk earlier.
Sounds perfect.
Okay, so we had mentioned iambic pentameter, but it seems too simple for that. And if it is, I apologize to Shakespeare heads, if that's what they're called. I guess like what's his name, parrot head guy?
Oh, Buffett.
Buffett.
Jimmy
Yeah, thank
Buffett?
you. Yeah, the Shakespeare of Jimmy Buffett of Shakespeare. But I wasn't sure. So
Parrot head guy.
The parrot head guy. So the lyrics, the speech is my recital. I think it's very vital to rock a rhyme that's right on time. Something. So
it's tricky.
It's tricky.
Tricky.
So
tricky,
we put.
tricky.
We had no idea. We just put AABB. C. Or no, AABB. That's what we're going to go with.
Okay, well, somebody's getting points here. The opening of the song goes, "The speech is my recital. I think it's very vital. To rock a rhyme that's right on time, it's tricky is the title." That is your classic AABBA limerick there.
Oh.
Oh, excellent.
Wow.
Great job, Matt.
Nice, Paul.
Rev Run preaching the limericks. I like it.
All right, round one, question two. Burning up the airways, a.k.a. the obligatory Simpsons question. On November 21st, 1991, was the first time that we saw a band come together for a guest appearance on The Simpsons. What band was it that took the stage at a newly popular tavern?
We can lock in.
Perfect.
Okay, Jeff.
I just watched this yesterday, actually.
You know that
surprising.
You know that I don't know anything about The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to remember who they would have gotten so early.
Well, two options here. Paul had a clue in the question, and it could just be random, but he said "Come Together," which is the Beatles.
Right.
And Aerosmith, I believe, also did a cover of "Come Together."
Yeah, I like Aerosmith more because I know the Beatles. There's an interesting thing with the Beatles where Paul McCartney wouldn't come on unless they could have a preachy message about him being vegan, I think. And I think that was a later season when he came on. But he was
that's
definitely
right.
on the show.
I also heard that he said something like, "I don't want to be yellow," like that. That was a little bit more Ringo. That's okay. I'm a little off my game.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, do you want to go Steven Tyler and Aerosmith?
That seems like the kind of thing they would have done. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's what we're going to go with.
So it's at this is at Flaming Moe's. I can let you say the rest of your facts there with Tom Jones and Michael Jackson, although Michael Jackson wasn't credited. But it's Aerosmith.
Yeah, 10th episode, season 3, Moe's Bar became Flaming Moe's with a guest appearance by Aerosmith.
Nice. What did they sing? Did they sing "Come Together" or just
"Walk This Way"?
Oh,
and
DMC.
Moe actually sings it. It's very funny.
Oh, that's good.
All right, round one, question 3. Keeping it clean for the nippers. NSFW is common internet parlance for not safe for work. A warning that clicking a link would bring up language or images that you might not want your boss to see over your shoulder. While this term came into being around 2005, it was predated by several years by NFBSK. This term was coined in response to a user on the Snopes.com message board who complained that certain children might be exposed to the foul language that other members used in their post. What warning were these users giving with this initialism?
And just to be clear, this is not NKOTB.
It is not. No.
Okay.
So we've talked about beginner school kids. I think the S is school. I think we're just looking at a B, but I don't know if we're gonna get it. So let's say beginner school kids, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the best I can come up with.
That's okay. We're winning, so we'll say
Excellent.
that.
Okay. We had no idea. Beginner school kids sounds really good. But we went with "Never Forget Batman Sacrificed Keto."
Oh, okay. Well, there was a hint in the title, but keeping it clean for the nippers. The irate woman posted that other posters should watch their language because there were British school children reading the message board. From then on, as a joke, the other Snopesters used NFBSK in place of swear words or in the subject lines on topics to warn they were not for British school kids.
Oh, man.
Wow.
We were so close.
When we were talking, I said maybe it has something to do with like a European school system, and never got there.
That's crazy.
Don't swear in front of me. I think Dutch Boy would have a very dirty mouth, honestly.
All right, round one, question 4. Coasting along to the next question. Placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1991, what is the most well-known and longest operating roller coaster at Luna Park?
We are locked in. We are locked in over here at Drowning Slowly. I'm almost positive on this one, Jeff. I'm just going to take one for the team.
I wonder if Luna Park is at Coney Island. It's pretty well known. and it's
Okay.
in New Jersey, which is
Oh, that would fit with this.
it's on the coast, and Paul is from that area.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to use some game theory.
Because otherwise I was going, Luna, it's on the moon.
Yeah. The
I'll take a
longest running roller coaster on the moon. But
Well, that is a second episode of Futurama.
yeah,
So
it is a theme park on the moon. But I can't remember the name of the famous roller coaster there. I think it's like the Twister or the Tornado. What's the name of all of those? Every roller coaster. But
Right. Well, yeah, because with the clue being coasting, it doesn't have to do with surfing or anything, right?
oh, I mean, it could be. What's some surfing words? Dude? I don't know.
Hang 10.
Yeah.
Meet the Deedles.
Mhm. Surf ninjas.
I could come up with some joke name with the moon being made out of cheese.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna get anywhere. So, I don't know. Moon coaster. I got nothing.
Moon coaster works for me.
All right, so
I'll take it.
Matt, I think, was at a different Luna Park, the fictional Luna Park in New Jersey. It's actually in Brooklyn, and you might find Mr. Robot eating on a Nathan's hot dog, riding the Cyclone from
That's it.
Coney Island.
Yeah. First opening to the public on June 26th, 1927 in Coney Island, Brooklyn, not in New Jersey. Your answer is the Cyclone.
nice.
Have you
Well
ever
done, Neil.
have you ever ridden it, Paul? Thanks, Jeff.
I have. Before I had an accident several years ago, which kind of did some balance issues on me, I spent many years as a member of American Coaster Enthusiasts. Before traveling the country to play trivia, I used to travel the country to ride roller coasters.
That's awesome. Did you now? Please tell me you had some sort of badge.
The man with the most interesting hobbies.
Yes, right. Please tell me you had some sort of badge and you'd go up to the counter and be like, "I'm a member of ACE. I get front row treatment."
At some places, yeah, the membership card did have some pull. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
All right, round one, question 5. No word if this is what Neil has on his back. Featuring a combination of naturalistic and surrealistic motives with lettering and color splashes rendered mainly in black and red, what is the name of the tattoo style that sounds like it might be Oscar the Grouch's favorite traditional Czech music style?
Yeah. So I think our trash polka is the best answer we've got.
Yeah, we came. So you mentioned there's a Czech polka festival.
Yeah. So in the fall, we have a festival probably about an hour and a half from us called Wurstfest, which is this 10-day salute to sausage.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend it. Anytime you come down to the Austin area in the fall, go there. But there's so much polka music being played, it's not even funny, and you have to do the chicken dance.
Right.
So the only type of Czech music style we can come up with is polka, and then with Oscar the Grouch, we're thinking trash. So we've just combined them to make trash polka. I'm sorry, Ken.
We thought, well, we think it's polka, and then Oscar's kind of a grump like Ken, so we just went polka grump.
Okay, well, once again, we have one team that managed to get their way there, and it is trash polka.
That's insane.
Oh my gosh.
Nice
You know
job.
what? I'm not sorry, Ken.
Yeah.
No, Ken
I
should,
retract that.
yeah, just tell him to stay in his trash can. It's fine. After 5, it looks like Team Drowning Slowly has 20 points, and Team John Tesh Reference something has 30.
It's so dismissive.
Round 1, question 6. Sports and other sports, aka the one where we trivialize an important moment in the civil rights movement.
Mm-hmm.
If Tommy Smith or John Carlos had been NFL referees instead of Olympic medalists, what would they have been signaling during their iconic moment?
Okay, we're locked in.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say if it's one hand up, I think it's dead ball or Maybe just dead ball, because I think it like leads into where they wave their hands for like end of quarter or for whatever else it is. Are you okay with that?
I am pretty much going to believe anything you tell me about sports ball.
Okay. All right. So I think that's a signal for a dead ball.
All right, I'm surprised Matt didn't. If we're even right, I mean, I can't gloat before I know we got the answer right, but I'm not sure. Not sure why Matt think of this one. But being from Chicago, and usually the only good part of our football team is defense. Anytime Khalil Mack sacks someone, which is pretty often, he throws his fist up in the air, which is, I believe, what Paul was getting at with the Olympics. And when your fist is in the air, that signifies fourth down. So that's what we locked in with.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. At their medal ceremony in Mexico City during the 1986 Olympics, Smith and Carlos were the African-American athletes who each raised a black glove fist to protest racism in the U.S. In the NFL, a raised fist is the referee signal for your answer. Fourth down.
Yeah, why did I not think of that?
Nice.
Yep.
I could not get there. Wow. I'm going to blame it on no sports for 2 weeks.
Sounds perfect.
Okay, round one, question 7. Strap in for this one. It's the longest question I've ever written. Walk the line softly and carry a big beaten stick. Music legend Johnny Cash was very nearly killed in 1981 when he was taking a nature walk in an exotic animal refuge he kept outside his Tennessee compound when he had an encounter with one of its inhabitants. Because he'd had a minor run-in of this sort before, he was carrying what he referred to as a big beaten stick with him. According to his autobiography, Cash took a swing at the creature, but, quote, I missed. He wasn't there. He was in the air, and a split second later, he was on his way back down again with that big toe of his, larger than my size 13 shoe, extended towards my stomach. He made contact. I'm sure there was never any question he wouldn't, and frankly, I got off lightly. All he did was break my lower 2 ribs and rip my stomach open down to my belt. Cash continued to swing his stick until his assailant ran off into the woods. What sort of beast of the genus Struthio attacked him?
Maybe like an elk.
Elk. Because I can't even talk now. Specified a big toe.
Right, I know. It's throwing me off.
But elk act something...
They have big feet.
Yeah, with the hooves on there, because we refer to those as toes.
Okay, well then
it's not a paw or anything like that.
Well, then we can lock in with elk. I think that sounds like a thing.
Yeah, I don't have a better answer.
Okay, elk it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were trying to think of things that are kind of aggressive and would have like unusually large toes, and we knew it wasn't cats or dogs, and we think we ruled out bears because I think those are all Ursa or Ursidae or something like that. So we were sure it wasn't a bear either. And then Neal and I settled on ostrich because we thought that's kind of the thing a weird animal sanctuary might have. And they do have kind of like 2 big toes. So that's what we guessed. We guessed ostrich.
All right. Cash walked away from this with 5 broken ribs in total, including the 3 he broke by falling backwards against a rock. The agony of the gaping stomach wound and broken bones forced Cash to take prescription painkillers, which led to a full-blown 2-year relapse into alcohol and amphetamine addiction, all due to being attacked by an ostrich.
Wow.
Good job, Jeff. I told Jeff, I was like, a big toe makes me think of the velociraptor. And then I don't know if that even helped at all, but it's in the same family, sort of. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never been attacked by an ostrich, but I've been attacked by an emu. I don't recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you Google Struthio, one of the first images that comes up is a velociraptor.
Oh, really? Oh, that's funny.
Okay, round 1, question 8. More of a teacher to my kid than I ever was. Meep City, Jailbreak, Adopt Me, and Royal High are a few of the most successful games on what online service, which allows users to design and play games on their massively multiplayer platform?
Jeff, I have absolutely no idea. So
I don't either. So.
Okay, let's just go with your answer. I like that.
Okay,
we're gonna lock in right away.
So the only kind of like video game thing like that I can think of is Steam.
Okay.
Which is, I know they have a lot of online games, but I think people can upload their own ones on there.
I'll go with that. We don't have a whole lot of gamers in my house, and we're still like in the Wii U life here.
Gotcha. No Animal Crossing for you then?
No.
What a shame. So yeah, I guess we can lock in with Steam. That's what we'll
Sounds
say.
good.
Oh, Jeff, you could take it if you want. Jeff just said Steam, and I wasn't sure what that was other than I know it's hot, so we went with Steam.
All right.
Okay.
Originally launched in 2004 under the name Dynablocks, the platform in question, to which I give all due credit for teaching my daughter to read fluently before she was 5 years old, is called Roblox.
Oh. There's definitely a rock, brick, hard-edged theme going on here, and I like it.
All right, round 1, question 9. Famous screw-ups in American history. We've all seen the famous photograph taken after the 1948 election of the newly elected Harry S. Truman holding up a newspaper with the headline, "Dewey defeats Truman." In what newspaper was this gaffe printed?
Okay, we are locked in over here.
All right, so neither of us have it right away, but we're thinking we can see the picture, and he's on a train, so it's got to be whatever town he was in at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be on a East Coast sort of train line city. There's New York, there's
Boston,
okay. There's Philly.
Maybe it's the Boston Herald.
I like that.
That's an old newspaper, so we'll go with that one.
Yeah, sounds good.
We're not sure. We were trying to think of what newspapers he would have had access to. Is it a Washington newspaper, East Coast, like you were talking about? And really, with no angle on this, we just kind of went game theory and said that we're from Chicago. So we just said the Chicago Tribune.
And game theory pays off. It was the headline of the November 3rd, 1948 Chicago Daily Tribune, which later became the Chicago Tribune.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, we had absolutely no idea. We're like, let's just go game theory and see what happens.
All right. Round 1, question 10. Between Isolar 2 and Glass Spider. Running from May through December of 1983, what musical artist supported his 15th studio album on the Serious Moonlight Tour?
So we're looking at 1983, 15 albums already. So somebody who's been very prolific since the 70s, at least, right? The Serious Moonlight Tour, this is right around, I think this is near the middle or beginning of Ziggy Stardust era, David Bowie.
That makes sense, especially with Isolar 2 with that. So in 83, I was 5, so I really wasn't paying attention.
Right. And I was negative
really
2,
like
so
that
I really don't remember.
Thanks. I really like that answer, though.
Okay, so we're going to go with David Bowie?
Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
Yeah, I didn't even pick up on the category clue. It makes sense. I just know Let's Dance is my favorite Bowie song, and I know in the song he goes, "The Serious Moonlight." So that's why we went with Bowie.
Yeah, taking its name from a lyric from the title track of the then recently released Let's Dance album, it was the Thin White Duke, David Bowie.
Nice.
Excellent.
All right.
After the first round, it looks like Round Bowl Rock by John Tesh has 40 points, and Team Drowning Slowly has 60 points. Paul, you said before we started that the swing round was in a bit of a different format, which we love. So give us the instructions.
Yeah, it's just going to be one question, 6 answers. I'm thinking 4 points apiece on it for up to 24 points.
All right.
All right. The NFL underwent division realignment in 2002. In the years since then, what 3 teams have never finished a season in last place in their division? And what 3 teams have never finished a season in first place in their division?
All right, we're going to discuss privately and get back with our answers. All the answers are locked in. So, Paul, can we hear that question one more time, and then we will give our answers?
Sure. The NFL underwent division realignment in 2002. In the years since then, what 3 teams have never finished a season in last place in their division, and what 3 teams have never finished a season in first place in their division?
Okay, we'll start over here at Drowning Slowly. Jeff, do you want to start with the bad teams?
Sure. So we think the 3 teams that have never once won their division are the Browns, because we figured that in the the AFC North there, either the Ravens or the Steelers are the dominant team. And we said that the other ones are the Redskins and the Lions.
And for the teams that have never finished last, we went with the Patriots. First of all, for the dynasty, we went with the Seahawks. A little unsure there, and then we've seen that graph where every Super Bowl or whatever it's been, final game has always been Roethlisberger in there. So we went with the Steelers as our third team.
Our answers weren't too far off. So the teams that have never finished in last, we went with the Patriots. We went with the Steelers as well, and then we went with the Green Bay Packers. And then what were our bad teams?
Our bad teams, we also had the Browns, the Lions, and the Bills.
Okay, each team getting 5 out of 6. The never having been in last place were the Patriots in the AFC East, the Steelers in the AFC North, and the Seahawks in the NFC West. And never winning their division are the Lions in the NFC North, the Bills in the AFC East, and the Browns in the AFC North.
All right.
I should have thought about the Bills, yeah, because the Pats would keep them out.
Yeah.
So each team picking up 20 points on that.
Okay, so that would mean our scores are 60 for Round Ball Rock by John Tesh, and 80 points for Drowning Slowly. So right before we get to round 2, feel free to join us over at the Crop. We're going to be posting sign-up sheets to come on the show, much as Emily and Paul did. And also hit us up on Instagram, our new Instagram, at TrivialityPod. And it's reminding me to take a picture while we're recording today to put that up. So please join us over there and interact with us. Take it away, Paul.
All right, round 2, question 1. The good old days. In 1919, Walgreens Pharmacy had 20 locations, but by 1930, they had grown to nearly 400 stores. Their ability to expand so rapidly and successfully is attributed to sales of what prescription medication? Ironically, this elixir is no longer sold at Walgreens, although it is readily available at many other businesses.
So we're trying to think about what's happening in this time era, and it's during Prohibition. So we're trying to figure out if this is something to do with some sort of alcohol, and Matt has suggested mercury, but to get mercury commonly now, I mean, that's only been used in
thermometers, and
thermometers
that they don't do that anymore.
Shakedown. Yeah, because that'll make you a Mad Hatter.
Right. Lithium. I don't know. You can get lithium in batteries, but I guess they sell that at Walgreens.
Right. Something we can't get. So you can still buy some wine of various qualities.
Yeah.
But you can't buy any liquor there.
Mm-hmm. So maybe just hard liquor, hard alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, are you good with hard alcohol then?
Yeah, because I don't want to put a brand on it.
Right. Okay. We'll lock in with that.
Okay. Jeff, you can take it. We had a very similar discussion.
Yeah, we were trying to think of, Prohibition hit in the 1930s, we think. So we thought if it's readily available other places, but not at Walgreens, maybe they don't sell, and I don't drink, so I wouldn't know, but maybe they stopped selling hard alcohol. So we said hard alcohol.
Okay, yeah. In the during Prohibition, liquor, primarily whiskey, became a prescription medication, and Walgreens used that to expand by hundreds of locations. They started phasing out their hard liquor sales in the 1990s. But yeah, your answer is hard alcohol, primarily whiskey.
Nice. If you look at the group chat between Neal and myself, I was like, whiskey, and he's like, just be generic to be safe.
No wonder everyone was so excited during the flapper era. They're all just wasted.
Moving on, round 2, question 2. A name in the stars. A Star is Born has been made into a theatrical film 4 times: 1937, 1954, 1976, and 2018. In the most recent version, Lady Gaga's character is named Allie. This is a departure from the first 3 versions of the film, where the female lead all shared what biblical name? Wife of the Persian king Ahasuerus.
I can lock in for us, Jeff.
All right. So this is where I'm failing all of my Bible teachers. I was forced to go to Catholic school for 4 years for high school and had to take religion class. And I don't know it.
You can't think of any biblical names?
Oh, I can think of a lot of biblical names.
Yeah.
But for who this king is, I cannot. Yeah, I'm probably one of the 5 people who have never seen this movie.
Any of them?
No.
Oh, man.
I travel with my students so much, and then when I come home, I'm with my kids, that getting out to see the movies was not my top priority the past 2 years.
I only know the memes, so yeah. We could probably, I guess Mary's as good of a guess as we're going to get.
Yeah, I'll go with it.
All right, Mary it is.
I didn't know this one from any sort of biblical reference whatsoever. I had to do it from the movie angle. And it's a name, I don't know how popular it is in the Bible. I just know the name kind of sticks out because it's, not just a sort of a generic movie name. But yeah, Janet Gaynor, Barbara Streisand, Judy Garland, from my memory at least, were named Esther in the other Stars Borns.
And Janet Gaynor, Julie Garland, and Barbara Streisand all played characters named Esther. The 2018 version is the only one where the male's lead name does not contain Norman as a first or a last name, with Bradley Cooper playing Jackson Maine.
Yeah, maybe they did a screen test of him saying, I'm going to get another look at you. And Esther just didn't sound as cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't finish my notes here. With Bradley Cooper playing Jackson Maine. Cue impressions. There we go. All right. Round 2, question 3. Music television, but not like, MTV. What possibly scruffy-looking band performed the opening theme for the Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV series?
We're locked in.
Okay, so I eventually got to, I believe that this is a Star Wars reference, a bunch of scruffy nerf herders. So we said nerf herder.
Yep, we locked in with the same thing. I remember it being nerf herder, and I was trying to find the connection, and then I realized when Paul said scruffy that, the Star Wars reference, so we went with the same.
Well, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder. Who's scruffy-looking? Yep, your answer is nerf herder. All right, round 2, question 4. I don't have a title for this one. Just be happy I managed to get a geography question in. What city, defined for our purposes as a population center of greater than 200,000 people, is located closest to the Four Corners Monument in the western United States?
All right,
so definitely not like Denver or Colorado Springs or anything, because those are way north.
Right. I don't know about Phoenix.
I think Phoenix is central.
Okay.
Maybe OKC. I think Oklahoma City's close. Is it close to the Panhandle or no?
I went to a conference there a couple of years ago. I remember it being a fairly straight shot from Austin. So I want to say that's more in the middle of Oklahoma.
Maybe it's like Santa Fe.
Or Salt Lake City.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because we were looking at a lovely family vacation this summer that I think is now canceled. And we were going to stop over in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
And we had talked about doing the Four Corners.
You could social distance from the Four Corners, though. You'd be 6 feet in 4 different states.
This is true. I love that. I will use that as my validation for trying to still do this.
Okay, so we're going to lock in with Salt Lake City.
Yep. I don't know if I was just channeling one of my favorite shows, but knowing that it was Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico, thinking of all those places, I know Phoenix and some of those other cities there are kind of central southwest. I'm pretty sure Salt Lake's pretty far north in Utah. Colorado's Denver's up northeast. So the only one I could think of was Albuquerque, and I'm all about the ABQ. So yay science. We said Albuquerque.
Yeah, when you said one of my favorite shows, my immediate thought was, oh, you got it. At a distance of 188 miles, as I measured using Google Maps, from Four Corners is Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Nice. That means I'm the Jesse Pinkman here then, Jeff, of your scientist.
Round 2, question 5, using your brains. One of the most famous concepts in the zombie genre is they just loves to eat some of them human brains. What was the first movie to introduce this concept?
Oh, man.
I heard movie and I totally blanked on Life because I was like, Neal can figure this out.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with my gut. We're locked in.
Oh, so we locked in with the oldest zombie movie we could think of that was pretty mainstream and I think had brain eating in it. We said Night of the Living Dead.
So originally I wanted to go Night of the Living Dead, and I don't remember there being any discussion of brains there. I mean, they Romero kind of started the genre there, I suppose. But there was a movie I made a bunch of people watch. I don't know if it was on Halloween or not. And recently I was writing some poems of scary movie characters, and I was thinking about it, and Paul said it in his question. The character in this movie called Tarman says brains like that because he needs brains. And if I'm correct, that would be Return of the Living Dead.
All right. Although 1968's Night of the Living Dead did have zombies eating the freshly dead bodies, it was the 1985 horror comedy Return of the Living Dead that specifically had them craving brains.
So close.
We'll get there.
So
Matt said it while discussing.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Oh,
you've gotten good at that.
All right, after 5 in the second round, Round Ball Rock by John Tesh has 80 points, and Drowning Slowly has 130.
Okay, round 2, question 6. Even the horsey set is affected right now. The Empire Polo Club, a 78-acre facility with 12 active polo fields, has for the past 20 or so years been home to what music festival? While the event typically takes place in the spring, due to everything on the planet currently being postponed, this year's event is now scheduled for October.
Yeah, we remember it being canceled very recently. We said Coachella.
Yeah, we talked about how like South by Southwest, which is out by you, was actually canceled, whereas this one we believe was postponed and rescheduled for October. So we said Coachella.
All right. The Empire Polo Club in Indio, California is home to the annual Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival.
Nice.
Points all around.
Yeah, Jeff pushed me into that because I thought that Coachella was in the desert, so I was like, oh, maybe it's Bonnaroo, but good thing he stuck to his guns.
Yeah, Bonnaroo is what, in like Tennessee or something like that? It's like, yeah. But I remember Coachella, I was like, it's in the valley was what I thought, so I don't think it was that terrible of a climate. But what's the one that's in the desert? Is that South by Southwest?
That's Burning Man.
Burning Man.
Oh,
yeah.
Burning
South
Man.
by Southwest is here in Austin.
Yep.
That's right.
All right. Round 2, question 7. This didn't make up for the Academy snubbing Airheads. What 2006 film is the only Adam Sandler movie to be nominated for an Oscar?
I have an idea, but
Okay.
I'd want to talk about it, obviously.
All right, we're going to lock in.
2006 is like Click era Sandler.
Yeah.
So he was not making his Little Nicky movies or anything like that.
I just don't think of him as being like a Oscar nominee.
Yeah, well, everyone was really excited about that Uncut Gems, but he didn't get nominated for that either.
He was great in that.
Yeah. I don't know. We can lock in with Spanglish. I kind of like that. I feel like maybe something was nominated in there. I know that was one of his like better reviewed movies.
Well, wait, when was Uncut Gem?
Well, that's 2016 or that was this year, 2019.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, sure. Let's go with it.
Yeah, Jeff and I had a similar discussion. One of my favorite Adam Sandler movies is Punch Drunk Love, Paul Thomas Anderson. And I couldn't get that out of my head. I don't think that's 2006 or not. We discussed Spanglish, maybe for like a supporting actress nod. And then there's one movie I cannot think of the title of that dealt with like 9/11 with Don Cheadle. It could be that one because of the subject matter, but we didn't really have a good line on that. So we just went with Punch Drunk Love.
All right. Well, the title was mentioned in conversation here, but co-starring Kate Beckinsale and Christopher Walken, receiving an Academy Award nomination for makeup was Click.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Oh, and Jack and Jill didn't get nominated? That's crazy.
Yeah, what about hairdressing?
It wasn't
for
2006.
Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Click was awful. What an awful movie.
But apparently it had really good makeup.
Because they made him look old? Oh, my God.
It's all it takes. All it takes.
Was that the year Crash one, too? What is this?
Yeah, I think so.
That was 05.
05. Yeah.
Okay. Compounding mistakes.
All right. Round 2, question 8. No, seriously, they still exist. I am not kidding. What is the oldest existing political third party in the United States? It was founded in 1869, saw their biggest success in 1919, and utilized the camel as their symbol.
Could this be something like the Whig Party?
The Whig Party was started earlier, though, because there was a Whig president like in 18... Wasn't one of the earliest presidents part of the Whig Party. So they were definitely around before then. I think the dates kind of lead me to think that this is the Prohibition Party, which I know was a third party. I don't know why they'd still exist, but I guess some people really hate alcohol. If that's a possibility.
Yeah, I like that.
Because he said, when was their greatest success?
1919, and that would be when Prohibition came in.
As we know from our previous question.
Right. I really like that with that timeline, with them getting rid of things with that. So I would go with that, definitely.
Okay. So Prohibition Party it is.
And Jeff?
Yeah, so I'm trying to put those dates in my mind, and I remember there was a point in time, and I think it was right before or right after World War I, so 1919 is pretty close to that, where the Communist Party had a really big polling in the United States, and we thought maybe the Communist Manifesto was written in the 1860s, so maybe we thought it was founded right about that time, so we guessed the Communist Party.
All right, points to one team here as the Prohibition Party, who insists they are actually still a thing and not a bizarre joke a bunch of Stone College students have thrown together for laughs.
Awesome.
Nice job.
I wouldn't want to attend a Prohibition Party, to be honest. Doesn't sound fun for me.
Round 2, question 9. Sports or the lack thereof. What is the most populous U.S. state without a team from one of the Big Four professional sports leagues playing inside of their borders? And I will give you 5 bonus points if you can name the second most populous state on this list as well.
Definitely Virginia for the first, because going to college in the state of Virginia, there were no professional teams.
Yeah, and then we talked about my only qualm with that would be possibly if the Nationals or one of those teams played technically in Virginia, but we don't think they do.
I don't think they do. My father-in-law and my husband are huge Nats fans, and I don't think that they play in Virginia.
Okay, so I feel good about Virginia, and then for the second one, we're kind of between, I think, like South Carolina and possibly New Mexico. I think South Carolina is probably a better bet.
I could be talked into that. There's starting to think about them. Now, we're going off of population and not size, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Because I was even thinking Iowa, but
it
seems less dense of a population.
Yeah. Maybe it could be Connecticut, too, because there's a lot of New Yorkers that travel. But I think...
You feel pretty strongly about South Carolina. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that was like the first one that popped in. So we're going to say Virginia is the answer and South Carolina is the bonus.
Sounds remarkably similar to a conversation Neal and I just had. We think, I know for sure that the Redskins play in Maryland. And we were trying to think, I think all the other teams that we could think of for sure played in Maryland. Now, maybe there's an MLS team or something we're not aware of that plays in Virginia, but Virginia is definitely up there. And then I was just kind of going down the coast, thought North Carolina. Well, North Carolina's got Panthers and Hurricanes and a couple other teams, but South Carolina's pretty populous. So we figured it was Virginia and South Carolina.
All right. Although it's where both the Washington Redskins and the NHL's Washington Capitals practice facilities and operational headquarters are based, the America's 12th most populous state, Virginia, has no professional sports teams playing in its borders. The next most populous state without a sports team is 23rd ranked South Carolina.
Wow.
15 points all around.
Wow.
Nice job, everyone.
Nice.
Yeah, that's tricky with the DC teams because you're not sure if you don't know 100%. That can go either way.
Having lived in that area has finally paid off.
There we go.
Yeah, when I was asking the question, I'm looking at Skype here at your VT shirt. I was like, oh, okay, I think she'll be able to have a good voice in this one.
Yeah. And it's important. It's Virginia Tech, not University of Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Go Hokies.
Yes, go Hokies. I feel very strongly about that.
All right. Round 2, question 10. Gonna march my horse to the Old Town Road. A sampling of the song 34 Ghosts 4 ended up giving a writing credit on Lil Nas X's Old Town Road to what Grammy and Oscar-winning composer and performer?
Yeah, I do know this one.
Perfect. I will trust you.
We can lock in.
Great.
All right, Jeff. Grammy, Oscar-winning composer and performer. I'm just trying to think of people who perform and also compose. I don't think Dwight Yoakam, Lyle Lovett. I'm trying to think.
Well, it's in that country style, so can you think of one? Lyle Lovett's not the worst guess in that case, is it?
No, I'm just trying to think if it's someone like really random. Like, I don't think has Hans Zimmer won an Oscar. Yeah, I have no idea on this one. You just want to go Lyle Lovett. I don't know if he's won an Oscar, but
I've got no idea.
Okay. Yeah, I had to take my Limitless pill, so I'm a little out of it. So yeah, let's just go Lyle Lovett.
Yeah, I feel like this is one, if you don't know it, you're not going to get there. Because I didn't know about the other stuff, but I do know that there's a sample of a Nine Inch Nails song, so it's Trent Reznor.
And it's Mr. Nine Inch Nails himself, Trent Reznor. The sampling of a beat gave both Reznor and his writing partner, Atticus Ross, a writing credit for the song, as well as a Country Music Association Award nomination for Musical Event of the Year.
Wow, that's great.
That is awesome.
After regulation, the game has tightened. It looks like Round Ball Rock by John Tesh has 125, and Drowning Slowly has 155. So let's hear those final categories, Paul.
Okay, your 5 categories for the final are thumb, index, middle, ring, and pinky.
I got to give you a hand on this one.
Hey.
All the wagers are locked in, so let's hear those categories and the questions, Paul.
Okay, the categories again are thumb, index, middle, ring, and pinky. Starting out with thumb, we have Charles Stratton was a dwarf better known by the stage name General Tom Thumb. He rose to international fame after being brought under the wing of what 19th century showman? Index. The Index is an 80-story, 1,076-foot skyscraper that was the recipient of the 2011 Best Tall Building in its geographic region award by the Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat. These days, it's the 18th tallest building in its city. In what city would you find the Index? Middle. The Middle was a breakout single for Arizona-based band Jimmy Eat World, reaching the top 5 on the U.S. Billboard chart. The song was off their 4th album, Bleed American, although it was temporarily retitled to simply Jimmy Eat World a couple of months after its release. Bleed American was released on July 24th of what year? Ring. A particular type of Victorian engagement ring which contain ruby, emerald, garnet, amethyst, ruby, diamond, and sapphire gemstones was known by what name? and Pinky. Starting off as a recurring skit on the Animaniacs, its popularity soon earned Pinky and the Brain a spin-off series of its own. After 3 years under the Pinky and the Brain title, the show was retooled and added a third name to the title, one of the main villains from a different Warner Brothers Animation Amblin Entertainment property. What is the title of this spin-off of a spin-off?
All the answers have been locked in. Let's hear those questions one more time, Paul. We'll give our answers.
Okay, Thumb. Charles Stratton was a dwarf better known by his stage name, General Tom Thumb. He rose to international fame after being brought under the wing of what 19th century showman?
I guess we'll start over here. We went 20 all the way down for the wagers, and we went with the Greatest Showman, P.T. Barnum.
We wagered 15 all the way down, and we agree, P.T. Barnum.
That is correct, Phineas Taylor Barnum. Index. The Index is an 80-story, 1,070-foot skyscraper that was the recipient of the 2011 Best Tall Building in its Geographic Region award by the Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat. These days, it's the 18th tallest building in this city. What city will you find the Index located?
We went with Dubai after much discussion.
Yeah, we guessed after thinking about what place has been just booming with skyscrapers, Dubai.
Winning the 2011 Best Tall Building Middle East and Africa Award, the Index is located in Dubai. The Middle was a breakout single for Arizona-based band Jimmy Eat World, reaching the top 5 on the U.S. Billboard chart. The song was off their fourth album, Bleed American, although it was temporarily retitled simply to Jimmy Eat World a couple of months after its release. Bleed American was released on 24th of July of what year?
Yep, this one, I believe, this album came out right before my junior year of high school, and that would have been when 9/11 happened. So we went with 2001.
Yep, agreed 100%. We said 2001.
Retitled because it would be in poor taste to have Bleed American as a title in the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks. It was July 24th, 2001. Ring. A particular type of Victorian engagement ring which contained ruby, emerald, garnet, amethyst, ruby, diamond, and sapphire gemstones was known by what name?
Oh, Matt put together the order of these gems pretty quickly, being part of the gauntlet from Infinity Wars. So we went with Infinity.
That's funny. Jeff, you could take it.
We didn't know, but we said maybe these were the crown jewels.
Okay, nobody picked up on the fact that ruby was mentioned twice. The gems are arranged to spell out an acrostic using their first letters, which is where it gets the name Regards Ring.
Oh. Interesting.
And finally, Pinky. Starting off as a recurring skit on the Animaniacs, its popularity soon earned Pinky and the Brain a spin-off series of their own. After 3 years under the Pinky and the Brain title, the show was retooled and added a third name to the title, one of the main villains from a different Warner Brothers Animation Amblin Entertainment property. What is the title of this spin-off of a spin-off?
Yep, weren't too sure on this one. I was trying to rack my brain for the Amblin animation show, which is Steven Spielberg's company. I know he did Animaniacs, and I couldn't think of the villain from that, and if there was a separate show, so we just said Animaniacs.
Yeah, so the title of the spinoff was Pinky and the Brain and Elmira.
Okay, well, we'll credit you with that. Adding Elmira Duff from Tiny Toon Adventures, the new show was entitled Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain. Close enough.
Awesome.
All right, after the game and all the wagers locked in, it was a very, very close battle, but it looks like Round Ball Rock by John Tesh is going to end at 170, and slightly in the lead for the win is Drowning Slowly with 175, making us today's cream of the crop.
I am the cream.
Very close.
That was so close.
So close.
Yeah, great game, everyone. Let's start with Emily. obviously, big thank you for supporting us on Patreon and for interacting with us and being such a great listener. Any final words for you? Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Right now, a big shout out to my husband for keeping my family and my dogs in another side of the house that we can't leave right now. And, just keep washing your hands.
Yeah, good advice. Good advice. And then, Paul, thank you so much for writing this game, putting it together. We know you're working hard on it, and also for being a Patreon supporter. Any final words or shout outs from you?
Just gonna shout out to my daughter Alana for being so good and so reasonably quiet while sitting on the couch behind me this whole time, just coughing a little bit. Hopefully those didn't come through the recording too much. She doesn't know it, but as soon as we're done here, she's getting a Nintendo Switch.
Oh.
And shout out to my wife Rachel for 7 years of amazing marriage today. And damn, I wish I could give her a hug and kiss for it, but
well,
so it goes.
Times.
Well, happy anniversary to you both, and thank you very much for taking the time. If you'd like to join Paul and Emily, you can go to patreon.com/Triviality Podcast. As I said before, join us at The Crop on Facebook, on Instagram, and Twitter at Triviality Pod. And for Ken, who I just realized I did not mention where Ken was this entire time, Ken was actually trying to build his own infinity gauntlet with bottle caps and other pieces of garbage, but I don't think he's going to get quite there. So
The trash gauntlet.
We said he's the trash gauntlet, yeah.
We'll send him our regards.
Yeah, there you go.
That's his new tattoo style is Trash Gauntlet.
Trash Gauntlet, there you go. The new tattoo style taking over the nation. But for Jeff, Matt, Emily, Paul, and myself, my name is Neal, and that was Triviality. Hey, Esther, that's biblical.
Nope, that's enough.
You can't get out of a recording without Neal doing a crap impression of something. And usually a good impression. Like, you got to take them both.
Yeah, 1 and 1.